Hello, Christian here, and welcome to the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. Happy Friday, everybody. Today, I wanted to talk to you about something very personal, and I call it the $10,000 mistake I would make again. Again, my name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. If you haven't done so, please like the notification bell so you are being notified every time there's a new episode coming out. Also, I want to hear from you. What was the biggest mistakes you have made? What was the impact on you? And how did you get out of it? So today, it's really simple. The $10,000 mistake I would make again. So with that, let's get into it. And for me, I want to start with something very personal. There are some of the best investments I have ever made. They all, if you look at them first, they look like mistakes. They look like expensive mistakes. But looking at afterwards, I would do it all over again. And for me, that's one of the really fun things to say. Because when I pull back the curtain on a few $10,000 mistakes I've made in business, there is a twist. And then there aren't losses, they are tuition. And we talk about this all the time. If you're part of the Disruptive Chef Network, you know exactly. And for me, I think there's a myth, and the myth is that growth is flawless. And I talk a lot of that with my clients and my coaching teams because you need to be real. We have been told, and we have been told to learn from mistakes, but really celebrate the ones which work for us. In entrepreneurship, especially if you being in time, money, or in ego, mistakes are part of the model that stop expecting you to risk things and have that risk journey. Growth, honestly, looks messy, but the ones that grow fastest, they will fall forward and they fall fast. And the first time I heard this, I didn't really understand it. And I have a little story, and the story is I call it the $10,000 that taught me the speed is and everything. And for me, it's a really simple story. I had the opportunity to invest in a state-of-the-art company. And for me, I loved what they did. We invested a little bit over $600,000 into them, and it flopped. And for me, there was two things which came out of it. Number one, we were able to produce a different product for them. We were able to take that different product and we actually sold off to another company. We were able to realize that the way we approach things just didn't work. We needed to hire an attorney, and that's if you're in this business, we have somebody now on. He's on a retainer for us, and it's amazing because when he talks to us and when he kind of shares stuff with us, I learn from him all the time because I honestly feel, and this is just 100% transparent, what I learned from him. If you hire fast, if you launch fast, if you pay fast, and it backfires, why? Sometimes no clarity. And for me, it's also a sign that there's no systems and just momentum and pressure. So the lesson for me is really simple. You can't outsource clarity. And we talk a lot about this because money doesn't fix a broken foundation. So why would I do it again? It's really simple because it taught me how to build it slow and how to do it right and not just fast. And for me, that's really, really important because in investing, and I as specifically say, if you invest into a mastermind, if you invest into a coach, and I'm a big believer that everybody needs a coach, everybody needs a mentor. And for me, that's really important because um, if you invest in a coach, if you invest in mastermind that fell off or didn't deliver what you were promised, is that you didn't have the right person. You got a reality check. And reality is nobody saves you, and still the one which you are the one which needs to do the work. And would you do it again? I I thought I bet more than that for me, I bet on myself, and I know you would do the same on yours. And I bet on myself and not the hype. You know why? Because I know everything we do, um, we just not rethink and we think differently when we create it. We do it twofold. We do it in a way that there needs to be an exit strategy. And for all of that, it's not that I'm not 100% committed. It's for me, it's really clear that I protect our assets and I protect who we are as an organization. Because if you build something with high hopes, you launch it. And how about the crickets? I know you feel that sting, not just financially, but also creatively. And you need to have validation before vanity. And that's something I was taught by my mentor. And he keeps telling me, hey, just because it feels good to you, it doesn't mean your audience wants it. And I'm not sure if I would do some things again, but for me, it showed you how to test, how to tweak, how to build in public, how to take failure, sharpen your message, and make marketing sense. Because as you do this, for me, it's really easy. Now it's easy. When I think back, none of those things are real mistakes. When you zoom out, all of those moments are turning points. And I know they taught you things you otherwise couldn't have learned. Success isn't a highlight reel, but mistakes are curriculum. And when you start looking at it this way, there's no mistakes. I just learn. Because I learned from one of my mentors, don't fear mistakes. Fear never investing in your own evolution. And it took me a long time to realize that because you don't need to make cheap decisions. You need to make decisions you can learn rich outcomes, where you can have learning rich ones. And that's for me what this is all about. How many $10,000 mistakes have you made? Have you learned from them? I had the opportunity to speak with an amazing coach. He was a former NFL player, really, really amazing. And he said something to me which I have tried to implement everywhere I can. Because he calls what is the most expensive mistake is not what you have made, but that's actually taught you the most. How about you? What's the most expensive mistakes you have ever made? What is those mistakes and what did it actually teach you? Not just teach you, but have you think of things totally different. TM me, tag me. Let's normalize learning the hard way or the worthwhile way, whatever you want to call it. Because for me, it's really simple. If I have the tendency to go all in, if I believe in something, and if it doesn't work out, it hurts. But the learnings I have from that, it's hard to learn any other way. And if this resonates with you, share it with somebody. Someone's who is beating themselves up consistently because they recently just failed. Let them know you're not failing. You're paying tuition for your next level. Because for me, That's how I looked at it always. It does sting. It does hurt for a while. But if you don't learn from it, you made the biggest mistake, because all of the things which are coming up for a reason. And I honestly believe if you do something, you all in and it fails, you know exactly what not to do. And that's for me what this is all about. This is not just what entrepreneurship is about. That's what life is all about. If you call it a $10,000 mistake, you would make again $100,000, $1 million mistake. Because for me, honestly, I need to finish out this conversation the way we started it. Some of the best investments I have ever made looked like mistakes at first, expensive ones, but I would do it all over again because they have taught me a ton. And hopefully today's conversation taught you a ton. And then if there's nothing else, I want you to know it's okay to fail. As long as you learn from it. And learn from it, not just what to do and not to do. Also look who to do it with. Because that was, for me, some of my biggest learning. With that, I want to say thanks for being here today. Happy Friday, everybody. And I see you next week.